Hello students, today we are starting with the new chapter functions or methods. So this word is very much familiar to you because every program whatever you have written so far, in every program you are writing a method and all executable instructions of Java are written inside this method and you write methods inside a class. So you are very much familiar with this function, but some of the things without knowing as a syntax or as a part of the coding you are just writing a program, but in this chapter you are going to learn many things about each and every part of the function, why do we write and why that particular word here. In this particular chapter many terms you come across, many terminologies I can say, and those terminologies are very important. In section A, that is in your board examination, many theory questions you get from this chapter. Apart from that, 115 marks question, that is in section B, you will get, definitely will get from this chapter. So this chapter is very important, and here many theory definitions you come across, and my suggestion, please learn the definitions as it is, how it is given in your textbook. So we start with this chapter, and since you know already functions or methods, so definitely this chapter is going to be very easy for you and easily you can score marks from this particular chapter. So let us start what exactly functions are, or let us understand the definition of a function. So what is a function is? So in Java programs, the executable instructions are specified through a method or a function. So method or a function is a sequence of statements, that carry out a specific task. So we write a function to perform a specific task. Then why do we write functions? So this part, why exactly we write a function, and functions are helpful in coping with complexity, hiding details, providing reusability. So let us understand these 3 points with an example. So let me take one example to make you to understand the 3 points, that is coping with complexity, hiding details and providing reusability. So the very first point, coping with complexity. So let me explain that by taking one example. See, you have a syllabus for each and every subject. So how they have designed? So each and every whatever syllabus has been divided into a different chapter according to the topic. Then chapter wise if you go also, different units are given, and when you start to learn, a chapter by chapter you go, and in that also, so we are going to cover up one particular unit of that particular chapter, a stage by stage we cover. So when you have a large things to do, so we go step by step a part of it to learn, then definitely our learning method or learning technique, definitely it becomes easy, and the method also to easy to read, easy to understand. So that is the reason whenever you have a very big task or very big things to accomplish, we try to divide that into a small modules I can say, then we start to learn about that. Similarly, if you are going to write a very big program, assume that you are going to write a very big project or something, or assume that very big program you are going to write. So in that case, the big program can be divided into a different parts, a stage by stage you can write, and each stage you can call as one module, and combining all that you make it as a one particular program. So to cope up with the complexity, let me take one example as class employee. I'll take one example where I am going to read the details of the employee. For that I'll write one method. So reading the details, I'll write, I'm just giving you the step by step, like as I said, modules what I said. So reading will be done in one method. Then to calculate the employee pay slip, so maybe there are what are the HRE, house rent allowance, DNS allowance, PF. So I want to calculate their pay slip or something. So that calculation I'll call the method as calculate, or I can also call it as pay slip also. So I'll make one method as calculate to calculate the pay slip. Then after we calculate, after we read, after we calculate, then I want to display the information about the employee. Maybe their payslip information I want to display or something like that. So display I'll write in one more method. So here we are writing a big or one program where it has got reading part, calculation part, display part, all that I divided into 3 separate modules. So all these days you are writing a class with only one single method, but in this chapter you are going to learn how to write multiple methods in a single class and how we are going to link them or how we are going to call them. So that is what we are going to learn in this particular chapter. So when you have a very big program to accomplish or to write, so we divide the program into a small modules, then we make that as a one single program and we call in a particular order. So that is nothing but to cope up with the complexity. That is what the first part is. So here suppose assume that when we write the program like this, definitely assume that reading part something is going wrong, then in that case you need not have to go with the calculation or display part. Definitely there is some mistake in the reading part, definitely you can go and rectify that, or else calculation you are getting some mistake or maybe calculation you went wrong. In that case just directly go to this and you can verify that. So by doing this, analyzing the program and checking for or for debugging the program, definitely it becomes easy. That is the reason we go with the function. That is the very first part, coping up with the complexity. Then hiding details and providing reusability. These 2 points I'll explain with one small program. So you have written already in your 9th standard as a beginner of this programming. So you have learnt one program. Assume that I want to find maximum of 2 number. So I'll call void display here. So I'll take 2 integer arguments. Int a is equal to 5 and b is equal to 10. So I am going to collect the result in one variable result. Result is equal to math dot max. So all of you are familiar with math dot max method, which you have learnt in your 9th itself. So we are passing a comma b. So what exactly? It will find the maximum among a and b and it will return the value, and the returned value will be collected in the result variable. Then you can display the output. System dot out dot println. Here you can display result, or you can say large is equal to plus result. So displaying the answer like this. So this is how you are writing the program. Let us see by executing this what exactly we are going to learn from this coding. I will make the entire thing what I wrote above as a comment here. So let me make this as static so that no need to create an object here. See now. So I am getting largest or large value as 10. So instead of just assigning the value, you can also take the arguments. Instead of a is equal to b is equal to, I can also write int a is equal to int a comma int b. Then I can take out this. As you all know, this is a generalized one. What user is going to give a value, for that the maximum will be given. So if I compile this, I'll give 5. Okay, let me change the value now, 25 and 100. Now which one is highest? 100. 100 is the highest one. Again you can recall that with a different set of values. Now I pass 50 and now 25. So which one is the highest one? 50. So by this you can make out, if I go to the source code here, math.max, this is a built-in function. This is already there in Java. We are just the user of this program. So display method is nothing but we are calling this max method. So we are writing display is user defined function. User defined function. We are writing this function. You can say function or a method. So what method I have written here? Void display is my own method. So we are the user. Is a user defined function, and this function is calling this statement. We are calling or we are invoking built-in method. Built-in method we are invoking. So when I invoke this, so here I tried the same program with the different arguments. So once the method is ready, any number of time whenever you require, you can recall that. Whenever you want, you need not have to retype or rewrite the program. You just have to call the method once the method is ready. That is what is called reusability of a method. For that reason also we write a function. Apart from that, anybody, have you gone through with this math.max method and have you seen the coding, what built-in coding they have written? No, it is actually hidden. You cannot see the content of this method because somebody has written, that is, they don't want to disclose the code. Even if you, when you write also any application, when you go through, if you, what file you get is only executable format, the source code they never give. That is what the secret they try to maintain. Similarly here also, math.max is the one which has been defined already in Java. They are just telling you how to make use of or how to call this method, but they won't give you the coding part of it. That is what? Hiding the details. Similar to that, even you also can write your own function and you can tell your others or your friends or anybody to make use of these functions. What functions you are writing means user defined function. You also, like a built-in function, create your own set of function and you can share with your friends by just giving only the function, how exactly it can be called, with what value and what is the type of the answer you get. So that particular line, what we call and all, I'll come to that in a short while. So that is what, so let us recall what exactly or what is the use of the functions. So as I said, the very first point is to cope up with the complexity. So when you have a large program, we divide that into a different module so that program becomes very simple to understand, very easy to analyze. So for that reason we go with the very first one. Then hiding details. You can hide the details and you can tell your or any of your friends or anybody to make use of your function, what is that you have created. Similarly, once you keep the function ready, whenever you require, you can recall or you can call the method and you can make use of that. You need not have to rewrite the code. That is the reason we go with the function. And also we are going to learn how exactly we are going to write multiple methods in a function. Similar to math.max here, you also can write your own function. That I'll come to that in a short while. Before that, let us understand what line we are writing. Many times you are writing like this, but without knowing what exactly all these parts, what exactly this one, without knowing, you are just as a syntax you are following, but each and every part we are going to learn in this chapter. So for that, let us understand those terms, then we will continue with the programs. So the very first one we are learning about the method definition. So do not confuse method definition with defining a method. So defining a method is nothing but what is a method, or define method means a method or function is a sequence of statements that carry out a specific task. That is what the definition of a function. But here what we are talking is about the method definition. So method definition is nothing but the very first line what we write. So the general format goes like this. First we start with the access specifier, followed by modifier. After that we write the return type. If you can observe, here I have used a square brackets, 2 square brackets here, but here I am writing in an angular bracket. You can see this, return type is in angular bracket, means this is must and you should give a value for this. Access specifier and modifier are optional, means without that also you can continue writing the function definition from return type, method name, parameter. These three are compulsory, but these two you can skip while writing a method. So after return type you write the method name, followed by, there is a rounded bracket here, there is a rounded bracket. Within that what we write, we call it as parameter list, or it is also called arguments. Let us take one example and we will understand each and every meaning of it. If you go through with your textbook, many times they will give you public static void main, something like this. So let us understand public is nothing but access specifier. There is a separate chapter by name visibility modifier. You will come to know, apart from public we can also give private, protected. If you don't give anything, it will be called as default. So what exactly each one is, we'll come to that as in a separate chapter. So time being it is optional, you can skip that part also. So what we write here, if you see your textbook also, they'll give you like that. The first one you try, time being you understand, it is actually an access specifier. It will give you the control or accessibility of this particular method. So that part you can learn in the later stage. Followed by static. Static nowadays we are writing for many of the method. As I told you, time being you can understand. Static is only you can avoid the creation of an object. But why do we write all that? Again we'll come to that in the later stage. So static time being you are using means you can avoid creation of an object. Then followed by void. Void is nothing but return type. I have put an arrow here, you can make out. Void is return type. Then main, what I have written is the method name. So main is nothing but a method name here. Then followed by int a comma int b. What exactly it is? It is actually called parameter list, or we also call it as arguments. So this particular line, the very first line when you start to write your function, is called method definition. So as I told you students, here many terms we come across and the terms has to be used as it is. You cannot change that, you have to use as it is. So this is the method definition. Then there is one more term, related term here, very important question it is, method prototype. Many time it was asked in the board examination also, what exactly method prototype and function signature. So let us understand what exactly a method prototype is. So here I have written the definition for this. A method or a function prototype is the very first line of the function definition that tells about the return type of the method and the parameter list. Parameter list you can say, and the number and type of the argument. If you see that, if you see here example, there are two arguments, int a and int b. So the number is how many here? Two arguments, and the type of these arguments are of type integer. So here first line of the function definition that tells about the return type of the method and the number and type of the arguments are nothing but method prototype. So if you see the example, definitely you will be able to frame the sentence on your own. Method prototype. Then there is a related term once again, function signature. What exactly a function signature is? If you see an example, very easy to understand. Here I have put one arrow here, you can make out int a and int b. This part refers to the function signature. So what is a function signature is? It is a part of the function prototype. It is a part of the function prototype that refers to the number and type of the arguments. That refers to the number and type of the arguments. So this particular part, number, how many number here? Two numbers. There are two arguments here and the type of the arguments are integer. So this particular part, what exactly we call it as a parameter or arguments, which is nothing but function signature. So you are not knowing these terms, simply you are writing. So each and every part you are going to learn in this particular chapter. So when you write a program, you are supposed to use those terms as it is. So after that, if you see this example, I have written here void. What exactly a void is? Why do we write void? Apart from void, what else I can able to write here? So let us understand what is the meaning of void. So when we write a void for this, void always indicates an empty set of value. Void indicates empty set of values. If you go through with some of the method, many methods whatever you have written so far, all the methods you are writing void only, because it is used as a return type for the methods that do not return a value, So what exactly returning a value, how exactly we return a value, all that we'll take one example and we'll try to understand. So void indicates an empty set of value. When the method is not returning, then in that case we try to write the return type of a method as void. Let us understand this void. Along with that, we will also see how exactly we can able to call a function. Accessing a method or calling a method we will see, and also we will see what exactly return mean is. What is the meaning of a return keyword? So let me take one example for that, and we'll write a very small program. I'll take the same example what I wrote just now to find the largest of two numbers. Here I am using the built-in function math.max a comma b. So instead of that, even we too know how to write a maximum method. Let us write our own function and let us try to call in the same manner. So instead of calling a max method, which is a built-in, I am trying to write my own method. I am going to call that. If you see the same example here, math.max is written by somebody and display method is the one which is calling that. So this statement I can say it is a method call statement. Method call statement, because this line is the one which is going to call the method. A built-in method is invoked here or called here. So display method is calling max method. So instead of that, let me write my own method now. I'll call the method name as large. Same manner we call, I'll pass the value a comma b. Instead of math.max, I'm writing large of a comma b. So there must be a function by name large here, otherwise you will get an error message. Either you should call a built-in function or you should write a code for the large method. If I do not write, I'll get an error message for this. See here, if I compile, okay, let me make, or I'll erase this part. So program is to find the largest of two numbers by using functions. So instead of calling a built-in, I am calling my own. When I compile, I'll get, as I told you, I'll get an error message. Because there is no built-in method by name large, then you should write a method for that. So inside the same class, you can see the brackets here. There is one opening bracket for a class and there is a closing bracket. So first I have written a method. So method ends here, display method ends here. Then I'll write one method by name large. Similar to math.max, this large method should work. That is what I am going to write now. Integer x comma integer y. So I am going to find the maximum of two numbers. So I'll take integer result. If x greater than y, then result is equal to x, otherwise else result is equal to y. So this is the logic to find the largest of two numbers. Once I find the largest one, since I am similar to the math.max method I am writing, this method should send a value to the caller. Whoever is going to call this large method, they should get the answer for these two values, largest of these number. So for that I write here return. Return means I am sending the answer to the caller. Whoever is going to call this method, they will get this answer, result. So after finishing that, so my method completes, I close the bracket here. So if you can see here, there is a class sample. The class sample has got now two methods. One method is display method and one more method is large method. So two methods are written inside the one single class. That is what I told you. All these days you are writing only one method inside a class. Now we have started to learn how to write multiple methods and how to link them, or how to call one after the other or something like that. So here if you see that return, I am using a keyword here, return. Return is a keyword. So what is the function of this? This keyword will send the computed value to the caller. Large is called. So we are calling this method. Who is calling? A display method is calling the large method and the answer is collected in this result variable. or you can also take, okay, let me change the variable name as mx. Anything you can keep simply to understand maximum. So here result I'll make it as mx as a variable. Just I change the variable name. If I compile again, I get a error message. Return type, as I told you here, as I told you, return type of the method, this part, the return type of the method is compulsory. You cannot skip this part. Whichever is in angular bracket, as I told you, none of this part can be skipped. But public static you can skip. So if you see the coding here, I have not started any of the method with public static. Static I have written here as I told you, or you can skip this part also. Here also if I want, I can include that static. Now after static what we write is the return type, but I have not written return type for this. Now I cannot write void. If I write void, I will get an error message because I have written here return. When a method is sending some value to the caller or to the calling code, then what type of data you are sending, that type of data should come here. So if you see here, result is of type integer. What type of the answer it is? Result integer. So what type of answer you are sending from this method is integer. So that type you should mention here, int. So you can make out, instead of writing void, we are writing for the large method as integer, means large is a method. So this is the very first line, which is nothing but the function definition, that is telling about the access specifier is not given here, modifier, return type followed by a method name and the parameter list. So method is telling you, or it is giving you the information, method name is large, it is taking two integer arguments and it is computing one value, and that value returned type is integer. So if you see here, we are finding the maximum of two number and that highest value we are sending, and that value is of type integer. That is what I have written here. That is the reason when I call a method, if you can see this, this is a method call. Now it is not built in, it is no more a built in, it is user defined. User defined method. User defined method. So I am calling this particular line is called a method call. We are calling, and once the method is called, immediately the control will jump to the large method and it will find the value of this, and immediately whatever value, as soon as return statement is encountered, the control will go back to the max. Max will get the value of that result, and that value we are going to print here. That with the diagram I will explain. Let us see how exactly the program is working. Let me compile this. See, I made both the method as static. You also keep it. Do not make one method as static, one method as a non-static. Again you get an error message. Either you take off the static for both the method, or you give the static for both the methods, or you take off. Any one method you have to follow. I will tell you why we should not write like that in the next or in the later chapter. So we come for that as a separate chapter we are going to learn. In that I am going to cover up. Time being, you understand, if this method is static, make this also as static. Otherwise avoid and create an object and go ahead with programming. So let me compile. No error. Let us see. See, large and display. So among this, which one I have to call? If you see the coding here, display is calling the large. If I call this a main method, actually I can also call it as a main method. So main method is calling the large. If I call main, it will take care of calling large and I will get the answer. If you call just a large, you will get just the answer highest here, not in your own format. Both the things I will give you the answer how exactly you are getting. Let me execute the main method. Main will take care of calling the large method. I will click on main. So it is asking me the value of A and B. Let me give 5 and 10. So I should get the answer as large is equal to 10. I am getting large is equal to 10 because this void method, that is main method, is calling large. Large is sending the value as 10 and that is collected in result variable and we are printing. If you do not call main, if you call large here, I will give 5, 10 as the x and y. See the output. you are getting integer result. See here, can you make out here? Returned, large method returned value, integer value, and output is returned 10. But if you want to display in a customized output in your own format, then you should write a main method, and main method should take care of calling and displaying the answer in your own customized format. So let me explain how the control is jumping into another with the diagram here. So here, use of void you all understood. Here if you see the method, when the method is what type of answer we are sending, that's what we are specifying. If you see main method, for main method we have written void, and if you observe this method, there is no keyword I am using return some value, because main method is not returning any value, it is just accomplishing or it is just finishing its work without returning a value. So when a method does not return a value, then the return type of the method is given as void. If a method is returning a value, like a large method here we are returning, in that case return type of the method is given as int. Whatever type you are returning, actually that particular type has to be given here. So let us see the execution part. As I told you, with the diagram we will understand as I told you. So void you all understood, accessing a method or calling a method. The same example I have taken here. So display, I have given a value as 5, b is equal to 10, result. So result is going to call a large method. Large is not a built-in, we are writing. Now it's a user defined function what we are writing, and this line, if you can observe, I changed the color here. This statement is called a method call. I change the color here, you can make out this is a method call. As soon as the statement is encountered, the control will immediately, you can see the arrow here, immediately it will jump to the method large. A value is 5, so x will take the value as 5 here, x will take the value as 5, and y will take the value of b value is 10 here, y will take the value as b. So one more duplicate copy is created in the memory. Instead of x and y, you also can write int a comma int b. In that case, as you all know, scope of the variable a and b what I have written here will be a local for this display method. If I write int a int b, in that case these two variables will be for local for large method. Just to avoid the confusion, since you are all beginner to this particular chapter and the variables, so I just have taken a different variable. As you go further in detail, definitely you will understand how it can be changed also. So time being, I am taking a different value. So a value will be taken by x and b value will be taken by y. So 5 and 10 will be received here. So 5 is greater than 10. Condition false, it will go to the else part. Result is equal to b. So result will be assigned with 10. Return result. 10 you are returning. So result value is how much? 10. The moment the control encounters this, you can see the arrow mark, immediately the control will go back to this statement, and actually here the statement will be replaced with the value 10, and that when 10 will be assigned with result. This whatever method, the outcome of the method will be returned, actually it will be substituted as 10 internally, then that value will be displayed on the screen. That's what, just for you to understand, I am just writing like this. This is actually large a comma b. That is how it is going to work. I just wanted to tell you that. So this particular part, this part, as soon as return you say, this will get the value as 10, and that 10 will be assigned to result, and you are going to print, it will come and reach this line and you will print that value. So this is how the method is going to work. So here we are learning not only one method, how to write a multiple method, means it's all user defined function. Similarly, how exactly built-in functions are there, similar to that we are writing our own function to simplify our own program. So here large method, one more display, or you can call this method as main also. So multiple method in a same class, like this you can write any number of methods. That is what, to start with, I have given you this. Similarly, a simple program I have given you here. So return statement explanation is given here. return statement is useful in two ways. As soon as return statement is encountered, the control will go back to the calling code. Whichever method is calling that particular method, it will go back to the calling code, or else, if you see here, return statement is used to return a computed value. That is what the second point is. Used to return a computed value to the calling code. The very first statement you will come to know when I give you a different example. Simply you can say without anything, simply one return statement without any value. When we give that, as we go with the more and more programs, we will come across with that. Just you can say time being, return statement, as soon as it is encountered, the control will go back to the calling code. Then return statement is used to return a computed value to the calling code. Here, to return the computed value to the calling. So display is the calling code. So for that reason also we make use of return. So similar to that, I have given you some simple questions here. I'll read out this. Please go through with this and write these 3 programs and come for the next class. Write a program with the method cube, like how I have written large. Like that you are writing one method by name cube that takes an integer argument and returns the cube. So here you take one integer argument, and here you can say return n into n, one single statement. What is the type of the answer you are returning? Integer. So return type can be int. So you can change this line as int cube int n. So write like that, write the coding to find the cube of a number and return that. Apart from that, continuation, also write a caller method. Caller method is nothing but this method will be called by one more method like a display, or you can also call it as main, or you can change the name as caller also if you understand with that word. So caller method, here display, okay, I'll write here, this is the caller method. We are calling, large method is called by display. Caller method to call the cube method and print the result. Same way how we have done large, same way we do it for cube. Similarly, I have given a method to find the rectangle. That is a method you have to write by name rectangle, that is taking 2 arguments L and B, length and breadth, and you have to return the area of a rectangle. Formula goes like this, and also you write another method to call and print the area of rectangle. Similarly, one more is finding the factorial, you all have written. So find the factorial in one method and call one more method and call this factorial and print the result. So write these 3 programs and come for the next class. Thank you, students.